Yo, welcome back to the Cap. This is the last episode, the season finale, the grand finale, the buzzer beater, the overtime victory.
I thought we hit the buzzer beater. I'm confused.
Oh yeah. Who did you shoot it?
Nah, I got the assist.
So I shot it. Okay.
It give me the 15th assist of the night.
Well, if I shot it, then you know it's going in. That being said, that being said, welcome back to the Cap. This is the last episode of season 2. On this episode, we talk about Roddy Ricch's "Live Life Fast," and then we also talk about our favorite moments from hip hop this year. So watch us on YouTube and listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Verbal, and more. And thank you for watching us all year. Thank you for listening to us all year. And we'll be back next year after you watch this episode. So. Yo, welcome back to the Cap Podcast. This is episode 229, the season finale of season 2, excuse me. I am your host, Nate Sperlins, your weekly tour through hip hop. Shout out to everybody who is trying to avoid Spider-Man No Way Home spoilers. I saw the movie last night. It was really good. That's all I'm gonna say. This is a safe space for all the people trying to get off of Twitter and Instagram and trying to get off of spoilers. So come in and enjoy this recap of 2021 in hip hop. That is Left Shark or Spider Shark, I guess, at this point.
Yeah. Spider Shark.
How does that? That's Spider Shark over there. Episode 229. Thank you for watching on YouTube. Thank you for listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Verbal, and more. Do us a favor, hit the like button and subscribe. Help the podcast grow. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at OldMilk Media, and check out the OldMilk Spins playlist on Spotify. That being said, Spider Shark, should I call you Spider Shark, Left Shark? What are you today?
Yeah, you can call me Spider Shark.
Okay, Spider Shark.
I don't have my mask on, but I am Spider Shark.
Okay, well, Spider Shark, how are you doing today?
I'm good, man. It's a good day. The FIA is still corrupt. Lewis Hamilton was robbed, and there's a bunch of foul play and racism there, but we won't get too deep in that. This is a music podcast.
Yes, it is. That being said, shout out to everyone who also understands basketball and understands that Nikola Jokic is a top 2 MVP candidate.
Okay,
and the other basketball player who's in the conversation is Kevin Durant, and that is the end of the story. Shout out to everybody who understands that about basketball. That being said, we have one project to talk about this week, and then we will go on mad tangents about the year that was hip hop, that was 2021. So that being said, let's get straight to it so we could get into these tangents. Let's start off with Roddy Ricch, Live Life Fast,
Roddy.
18 tracks, 51 minutes long, featuring Future, Kodak Black, 21 Savage, Takeoff, Jamie Foxx, Ty Dolla $ign, Alex Isley, 5 Foreign, Lil Baby, and Gunna. Spider Shark, what did you think about this? This is his second album. Yes. What did you think about Roddy Ricch's second album?
I don't know why people hating on Roddy Ricch's second album. I think his sophomore project is fire. But here's the thing, is I see his second project kind of sounding like, it looks like the cover. It looks like an album I gotta play in a car and like late at night and ride to. That's what it looks like.
Oh, I see what you did there. Late at night.
Yeah,
give him a golf clap for that.
But I don't think that it's wow, that was a weak clap. It was like 2-3 people. That's why.
Yeah, golf clap.
But I think that the problem is that there's no PETA or the Box or even
high fashion.
Yeah, high fashion. Like,
don't forget about high fashion.
It's like this. We're gonna talk about it. This podcast. We're gonna talk about this podcast. We're gonna talk about this weird year of no hits but cohesive projects. Because at the end of the day, that's some of the best albums have just been cohesive. And then when you're like, what is the hit? You're like, I don't really know. Like, I guess it's
honestly
this
My
song.
Paradise. It's My Paradise. I love it.
I think Late at Night is still, it's the single for a reason. And that song is just so good.
Yeah,
but
that's good.
I it can be whatever you want it to, because it doesn't really it clearly doesn't have an obvious one. But I thought it was a good project. I think that Roddy Ricch is in a weird place because he took 2 years off to like, and he said, I wanted to experience things. I didn't want to just regurgitate. And it didn't help. like,
No.
like it didn't really change the content or make it deeper or expand it or anything like at all in any way, shape, or form. So I don't really know why he did that. I don't think it makes sense. And now I'm in like this weird place because I preach, take some time off, grow. We like to let people miss you, all those things. I miss Roddy Ricch for too long. Didn't really get an album that made up for it. And now I'm kind of confused. Like, should I want new music now again? You know what I mean? Like the timer is not as long. Please, excuse me for being antisocial was so good that he got like 2 years was fine. I
thought you were gonna ask a question when you said please excuse. I was like, oh.
Like that shit was fire. So him taking the time off is fine. But I don't know if this is good enough for him to take the time off. And I don't know if there's gonna be hits. I mean, if you think about also with his debut, is that Racks in the Middle and Ballin', which are two of his biggest hits, which are set out not from his album.
Mustard.
Yeah, DJ
Mustard's
Mustard, one
album.
from DJ Mustard and one just as like a single from Nipsey. Is that it's like those were some of his biggest songs that contributed to his year of being one of the biggest artists in hip hop and in music in general, along with his album dropping at a time when no one else dropped.
Yep.
So it's like he's taking advantage of a lot of things that have put him in the place, but he's not really making good on it. So I'm not saying the album was bad. I think both me and Nate enjoyed it, but I think that because the hits aren't there, and it's fine to not have hits, is that I think he needs to re-up sooner than he may think. So we got to see. Because I think that the number's not going to be the same. I know the number's not going to be the same. Like the number's going to be the same, but the second week number's definitely not going to be the same. I don't know. The replay value is low. What did you think about it?
All right. 3 things I want to talk about here. So if I lose my place, I'm going to tell you what the 3 things are first. And then if I lose my place, then remind me. The first thing is rollout. Well, no, I don't want to do them in order. 3 things. Rollout. I also want to talk about why. I also want to talk about please excuse me for being antisocial. And you made another good point about content that I also want to talk about. So those are the 3 things, right? So this is why rollout is important. For please excuse me to be, as Spider Shark alluded to in his soliloquy, please excuse me for being antisocial had it didn't really have much of a rollout per se, but because of Roddy's features on tracks, like he said, like I forget the Nipsey one that you mentioned before, but I definitely remember Racks in the Middle,
the one that won him the Grammy.
Racks in the Middle by Nipsey Hussle, and additionally his feature on Mustard's Ballin'. Because of those 2 tracks, Roddy had exploded and propelled himself into another tier of hip hop that he wasn't even thought of being in before. So off of that hype alone, he was able to carry that into please excuse me for being antisocial, and then he delivered hits like The Box, High Fashion, PETA, as Spider Shark mentioned. He delivered hits like that, and he kept it going. Not
to mention his remix of Lemonade, as well as the Baby song that went number
1. Rockstar. Yes. So all that was that before or after?
After.
That was after. Okay.
That's what kept it relevant, to be honest.
So rollout is for this rollout, he drops Late at Night, I believe, in June or July.
Yes,
way before this comes out. And sure, he has a feature here and there. I believe he was featured on, was it Pure Souls on Kanye's album?
Yes.
Was it? Which was a very good feature, but it wasn't. It wasn't the same level of, oh my God, I'm so excited for Roddy's album, that contributed to the same hype as Please Excuse Me for Being Antisocial. So that being said, I think that there needed to be more of a rollout here. I think that because of the performance of his debut album, he kind of got a misleading view of where he really was in hip hop. I think that
I agree with that.
he thought that he could be someone that could just drop whenever he wants to and drop out of the sky, and people will come like gravitate towards his album and love it. And that's not necessarily true, because he still didn't have as much groundwork with fans in terms of doing features or in terms of just actual his own songs before that, for fans to really be like, oh my God, this is Roddy Ricch, and this is what he has become, and this is who he is, and I'm going to ride or die with him. So that was the first thing. Second thing was, please excuse me for being antisocial. This is why when we talk about projects and we talk about artists who run a year, I always ask who dropped in the same year, because Please Excuse Me for Being Antisocial was a good album. It wasn't my favorite. It definitely, but I can't deny the impact that it had on a lot of people in hip hop. It becoming one of people's favorite hip hop albums. So I'm speaking from that. I'm not speaking from my personal experience. But that being said, from the time of Please Excuse Me from Being Antisocial being released, there was a good 3 months where there wasn't a significant drop in hip hop at all. And that was the de facto best album to go to. It was between Roddy Ricch and Lil Baby. I can't
and Mac Miller.
When did Mac Miller drop?
Circles had dropped like maybe a few weeks later.
After
I remember
Lil
they
Baby?
dropped. I remember there was I remember like listening to just Roddy, and then Mac Miller dropped, and I like listened to it once, and I went back to the Roddy because like I couldn't listen to the Mac Miller album.
Okay. So that being said, for the most part, it's pretty dry. It's like it's like Arizona. Dry. It's like Arizona, Las Vegas, whatever you want to say, whatever synonym or whatever you want to say about it being dry. That's what it was. It was ashy, whatever.
I think that we're missing someone. Are we missing someone?
I don't think we are. I mean, I think Young.
What about A Boogie? When did A Boogie, or was that the year before?
A Boogie didn't drop. A Boogie didn't drop during that time. It was in terms of major releases. It was Roddy.
What
Ricch.
Is this? Early 2020?
Yes. It was Roddy Ricch, and then it was basically then it was Mac Miller.
Nah, bro.
And then it was nobody else until Lil Baby dropped, and then the next week Lil Uzi dropped.
Okay, A Boogie dropped February 14th, 2020. I'm pretty sure 21 Savage dropped too.
No, he didn't.
I'm trying to see when this album.
21 Savage dropped.
Oh, that's 2018.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
So that being said, and yeah, Roddy was competing with Justin Bieber and Selena Gomez for number one as they were trying to have their streaming farms or whatever. But aside from that, in terms of hip hop, there wasn't really any.
I remember that.
There wasn't really much of a marquee.
Selena Gomez was out here down bad.
She bought her own albums from
No, I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that. That's something that like a lot of hip hop artists have done. J. Cole used to do that.
I mean, but buy out the whole section though.
Yes.
Nah, I'm cool.
No, because we've talked about this before, and I told you I was like, I'll send you videos of like rappers, like high name rappers, going to Walmart, buying all their albums as like one of those things like that, like rappers do when they drop an album. Like I don't know why. I don't know why it was a thing, but I can send you videos of like J. Cole and Drake together going to Walmart, buying a bunch of their albums, being like, "Yeah, we made it."
Regardless, I want to let's shift off this tangent a little bit though. Because I'm in my second point and I want to get to the third one. So that being said, that's why competition matters essentially, because you can't really measure yourself in your place amongst anything unless there is competition around you for you to be able to have some form of a struggle with. If it's just a cakewalk, then you're just going to be like, unless you're that guy, unless you're like Drake or Kanye or Kendrick or whatever, then it's supposed to be a cakewalk. Rihanna, Beyonce, like you're that great, and you've proven that for years.
Rihanna right now.
My third thing was about content. So initially I didn't like Please Excuse Me for Being Antisocial. That wasn't really because I had listened to Roddy Ricch's Feed the Streets and Feed the Streets too, and I enjoyed those a little bit more than one of my favorite songs is NASCAR actually. I believe that's on the second one. But that being said, the thing that made me open up to Roddy Ricch reopened up to Roddy Ricch and the possibility of being a fan of him was the fact that he, as Spider Shark mentioned, he said something along the lines of, I want to be able to experience life more and I don't want to come back soon. I want to like actually have something to talk about. Live Life Fast doesn't really have much to talk about here. Like, I mean, like the intro track.
It acts like it does though.
It does. Like the intro track it's a great concept. In terms of him having that, I think, minute talking about his OG and then like seeing the mistakes of his OG and that teaching him about like life and stuff like that. That was great. And then like transitions into a song. Ultimately, the song is too short. So that's not really something I could really see myself enjoying over and over again. But aside from that, it's basically the same hip hop stuff. I kind of thought he would be more what's the word? I guess enlightened, I guess, in whatever way.
He's mostly just fucking hoes in every song.
Yeah, like so the content wasn't really on a level where I would see myself coming back to it again. Additionally, this is something where, please excuse me for being antisocial, if I remember correctly, is an outlier in Roddy Ricch's discography because the other two projects kind of sound more like this.
I agree.
So this is really like this project is a more accurate portrayal of who Roddy Ricch is as an artist.
We gotta see.
Yeah, we do have to see because there's also a lot of time for him to grow and stuff like and for him to be able to develop and stuff like that. I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying in terms of from the 4 projects that I've listened to from Roddy Ricch, it's 3 of them are basically in the same lane, and please excuse me for being antisocial, which is by far his most successful, is the outlier.
What I'll say about Live Life Fast is and this sounds fucked up as a person that enjoyed it, is that Live Life Fast sounds like the album that artists are like, yeah, I made an album, but then I scrapped it because it wasn't good enough. Mm-hmm. Is that like if Roddy Ricch was as great as I think that he could be, I think that he would have scrapped this album. Not because it was bad, but because it didn't show growth. And that's what I feel like what is why he took time off. He was trying to show growth. So like it just confuses me that this is what he was like, all right, so this is my growth. It's like
there wasn't really much
minuscule growth. There. Very minimal growth. I don't know.
I don't really I mean, but that being said, I will say out of the Roddy Ricch discography, this is my favorite.
It does sound like a late night drive, and what's the problem with that is like it's hard to kind of like know which songs I like because none of them really stand out because it just sounds like a cohesive like vibe, which is another thing. Like, you know, a lot of albums this year are like, oh, I don't have like a peak song. I don't have a favorite song. It's just like the whole project is good. Like when I listen to the project, I want to listen to it as a whole thing.
No, I feel you. Another note I do want to say about Live Life Fast is, again, I think there's also a lot of concepts here that could have been nailed down better. And if they were nailed down like they should have been, it would raise the value of this project. I forget which track is it. It's the one featuring Jamie Foxx, as I pull it up right here. At the end of No Way, when he has Jamie Foxx on the interlude coming in asking Roddy Ricch to slow it down, and then it goes into the next track, Slow It Down. That's a good concept. However, the fact of the matter is that Slow It Down sounded like a very good song. It had promise, but again, too short. And then the next track, I believe, is then it goes into Man Made, and then after that it's a drill song with Murder One with 5 Foreign. So it doesn't even slow down the album.
That was so confused. So confusing. Why did that song exist?
Which one?
That 5 Foreign song. Why?
I liked it.
But why?
I like this new flow that 5 Foreign has.
But why was Roddy Ricch making that song? Why did Roddy Ricch how did Roddy Ricch hear that beat and was like, yeah, I want to get on this beat?
I mean, a lot of rappers.
That makes sense to you?
I mean, I think a lot of rappers are trying to tap into the drill wave and have a single song on their album. Because Polo G did it too. On Hall of Fame. Clueless is one of my favorite songs off that album, actually. But
I hate these niggas.
That being said,
I hate you niggas.
But that being said, where do you think Roddy Ricch goes from here after this? Do you think he takes 2 years?
I
Or do you
don't know,
think,
man. It shouldn't be 2 years. Year and a half.
I don't think it should
18
be 2
months
years.
tops. 18 months tops. 18
Mhm.
months tops. 12 months, start the rollout. But here's, you know what, actually, before you end, because you just came up the content, like, this is a pandemic year.
Mhm.
Went into this album. No pandemic shit. No, I was at the crib, sad. None of that. It was all, I was living life lit.
RJ wants
None
his
of
niggas
that
to be
shit.
sad.
Very confused. Because he was all the way sad on the debut. I want the sad. Give me the sad, nigga. Don't do that. Why you all happy, nigga? Damn, that's wild. See, we didn't like Chance when he was happy, and I'm starting to understand. Fuck y'all niggas when y'all happy. Suck a dick.
Yo.
But no. It was a good project. It wasn't as good. I think that where he goes is a single run. Fuck the album. Fuck the albums.
Might have to be a feature run.
A single run as a feature, as a solo artist, whatever.
Mm.
He has to focus on getting his next hit and being like, I can do it again. Because this project is one of those projects that a lot of skeptical niggas or a lot of hating niggas can be like, oh, was it a flash in the pan thing?
Yeah.
Like they can say that. They're allowed to say that.
I mean, that being said, I think that I think Roddy Ricch would probably sell
so good.
at least 50,000 off this stuff.
Pure Souls is better than any song in this project.
Yeah.
So that's my part. I have.
What are your favorite tracks?
Okay, look, you gotta go first.
In my playlist, I have, as I go to my playlist, and now I gotta scroll all the way down because I left the page. Alrighty, I have Roller Coastin', Hibachi. I like the Kodak Black feature a lot on Hibachi, featuring it's Kodak and 21 Savage featured there. Murder One with Fabio Foreign, Move to Miami with Lil Baby, More Than a Trend, and 25 Million.
I listening to this project, I feel like I want to feature Roddy Ricch collab like 7 songs. But Paid My Dues, Slow It Down, Move to Miami, and Late at Night. And Live Life Fast. The intro.
Yeah. I mean, I just wish it was longer. I really.
Yeah, I mean, no, I 100% agree with you. But at the end of the day, those were like some of my favorite vibes.
All right. Let's move on to RJ. Oh, well, excuse me. Spider Shark says that he has a bunch of questions to pose in this final episode of season 2. So
yeah, I came ready.
I will just give Spider Shark the floor there.
I wasn't ready first time around. I'm ready the second time. So what's good? So it's been a crazy year. There's a few questions I want to ask, but I don't want to get into the big juicy ones all at first. I want to ask you who you think were the biggest like progressors, like most improved artists of over this past year, and who were the ones that digressed and like have work to do. I think Roddy just got added to that. Got have work to do. So
Trippie Redd might have some work to do.
Okay.
Biggest progressor, Rod Wave.
Really?
Yes.
I personally think that Polo G has progressed way more than he has.
I mean, Rod Wave is really more about how many people are paying attention to him. Like his ability is.
Is that not also Polo G? He has his first #1 hit.
Yeah, I mean, but Polo G is. I think that there's another bag that Polo G can potentially get into that he hasn't attempted yet.
I agree with that, but when it comes to like added fans, I feel like Polo G had the biggest jump of artists that were already established, at least.
Nah, I don't, because people really liked this one was Hall of Fame. People really liked the GOAT, and people really like Die Legend.
You don't think they like Hall of Fame now?
No, they do, but like there were so many people who enjoyed Polo G before Hall of Fame came out.
Okay, I'll get you that.
But Rod Wave, I think Soulfly really helped propel him. I like Maxwell Cream's album a lot. The growth that he showed there was really, really well done. I think that Yeah, I'm not really thinking about. I can't really think of artists that have some work. Meg Thee Stallion might have some work to do.
I think I know who has some work to do.
Even though that album was basically a bunch of
No,
tracks that
yeah, those were freestyles. I don't count
yeah,
that.
like even though that album was a bunch of freestyles and
But first
throwaways and
times or
stuff like that.
whatever, good news, whatever. Didn't
Yeah,
that come
good
out this
news.
year?
No, that was last year.
No.
Who do you think?
I think that artists that I think have work to do, and this is gonna be sound funny. The first artist, Drake. Drake has, y'all have seen me beg and beg and beg for CLB. We got CLB, and now I'm upset. So he has work to do. I think Roddy Ricch has work to do. I personally think that Meek Mill has work to do.
Yes, Meek Mill does have work to do.
I think that people that have progressed, Polo G, I agree that Rod Wave has progressed. I think that Moneybagg Yo probably actually is number one. Actually, instead of Polo G, I don't even know why I said that. I forgot about Moneybagg Yo.
Yeah, Moneybagg Yo.
Shout out to the fact that Moneybagg Yo, along with Justin Bieber, are the two artists this year to have sold platinum albums. Their albums went platinum, not singles. Their album.
Wait, for
Those
real?
are the two artists.
No one else has gone platinum?
Nobody else. Two niggas, bro. No Drake, no Ye. None of them niggas, bro. No Taylor Swift. Adele ain't even got platinum yet, nigga. She gonna go platinum next week. But that's not the point. As of right now, it's Moneybagg Yo and Justin Bieber. Think about the second name and the fact that the other name that I said was Moneybagg Yo. Shout out to Moneybagg Yo. Yes, give it to my man. I think Waukesha, one of the best songs. I think ESTG, one of the biggest growers this year. Shout out ESTG. I think that he put himself on the map.
I mean, I think that the first part one is bigger than Life and Death. Part one didn't really do much for me, but the second part two was better.
I didn't know who the hell ESTG was, and now I feel like that's all niggas want to talk about.
Really?
So yeah, seriously,
I've never had a conversation with anyone about ESTG.
Well, I just mean like seeing him on like Spotify and Apple Music, and like seeing him on the front page of shit. I'm trying to see him.
Really? You on the front page?
Yeah, I be seeing him for real. Okay. All right. Who else do I think had a good year? Somebody that I think has work to do. Like, this is gonna be really weird to say. It's gonna be another one that's gonna be weird to say. Lil Baby. I think Lil Baby has to do something special to remind people that he isn't just really good.
Really?
I think that he's in a position where music can start undervaluing him because they don't know how to value artists. Like Lil Baby is in one of those places where he's not doing something connected to his own name enough to give him long-lasting credit.
People love
if his most. I'm not saying about that because I think that his tour is crazy. But if you think about it, he's touring an album a year and a half after, right?
Yeah.
So it's like at the end of this tour, what is he going to take a break off, like as if he had just dropped an album and finished a tour for it?
I mean, I don't know if that counts as really work to do. I mean,
I think that it's one of those things where it would surprise me if Lil Baby sat down. So like, I don't necessarily think that it's work to do, but I see him being active next year. I definitely see him being as
active
his own individual.
Yeah.
And I think that those are the people. But shout out to Moneybagg Yo for sure. I think that the person that has to do the most amount of work genuinely is Drake. Genuinely.
Yeah. Favorite hip hop projects of the year. I have 8. All
right, give me your 8.
Call Me If You Get Lost, Tyler the Creator, Polo G, Hall of Fame, Rod Wave, Soulfly, Nas, King's Disease 2, Coda the Friend, and Static Selecta's To Kill a Sunrise, Maxo Cream's Weight of the World, Young Thug's Punk, and this one doesn't count as hip hop, but it's a hip hop artist. Trippie Redd, Neon Shark versus Pegasus.
Gotcha. I'm gonna go the Melodic Blue, Donda, Weight of the World, of course. I enjoyed Trip at Night like a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out Vince Staples.
Staples is good too.
Call Me If You Get Lost. I enjoyed the off season. That's pretty much it. There's other good albums that dropped, but those were the ones that I was spinning the most for sure. Yeah. I think the artist that went off the hardest. Also shout out honorable mentions for progression. I'm gonna have to shout out to Vori for just like literally running Kanye West's album. But but I do think that probably the best albums of the year, like if I had to give you like a top 3, it's probably gonna, for me at least, it's gonna be Donda, Call Me by Your Name, and
Call Me If You Get Lost.
Call Me If You Call Me right now. Call Me If You Get Lost and Vince Staples.
For me,
and King's Dead was good. I just didn't play it many times.
I still play King's Disease. King's Disease 2, definitely for me. Call Me If You Get Lost. And honestly, I might have to say Hall of Fame. Hall of Fame 2.0 did a lot. Like, I really, really enjoyed it.
Smooth Criminal was good, but Jesus Christ.
Unapologetic with NLE Choppa is really good. Suicide with Lil TJ, All Right, and PNOG. Those are great, 4 great songs.
Here's the thing that I want to ask your opinion, and this is one of the big questions that I want to ask, is that do you agree? And there's a follow-up question to this, if you do agree. Do you agree that it's been not a year of hits, but a year of cohesive good albums? Not great albums, but cohesive good albums.
Yeah. Actually, what defines a good year? I think it's been
okay. Well, no, I don't. It's not about good year. It's not about good year. It's okay. About like
I think it's been a hit. I think it's been a hit or miss.
A year where the good albums have been executions that were good as a project and not an album carried by hits.
Yeah.
I don't think there were many albums that were carried by hits this year.
No, there weren't.
And I think that it's also,
which is a beautiful thing, by the way.
I think it's a beautiful thing, but it's a weird thing though, because at the same time that there weren't albums carried by hits, there wasn't that many hits. A lot of niggas to drop a hit. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Shicey, Spot 'em, Got 'em. We had fucking Young Asian with Who I Smoke. I mean, we had a new hit. We had a bunch of fucking hits that were viral for like 3 weeks.
Young and Ace had a good album too.
Shout out Young and Ace real quick.
That was a good album.
There's a lot of niggas that had good songs, but didn't necessarily have hits. And I want it to be known that, like, in that circumstance, a guy like NBA Youngboy, I think, is going to end up having one of the albums that performs better in the long run. I think there's a lot of albums that dropped that didn't have longevity because people were expecting it and didn't get one, and then they had to go back. Like Tyler the Creator I'm kind of surprised that Tyler the Creator wasn't on that went platinum with the album. Like, honestly, same, because I thought that we liked it, and I thought that most people were just going to listen to it through, but they didn't. Is that that hit shit is part of the replay value, and I don't think that I like hip hop without hits and just making good albums. I think as much as I asked for this, I don't think that I want this anymore. I mean, we need to go back.
Honestly,
back to the hits.
I mean, honestly, I like
Migos 3 was trash. What the fuck?
No, Migos 3 was alright.
It wasn't trash, but it was you ain't playing. We was playing Bad and Bougie for 18 months. Yeah. Name a song off that shit.
That I'm playing right now?
Off Migos, yeah.
Why not? And Jane.
I only play Modern Day.
I go back and listen to it from time. I also Need It with Youngboy on that.
And birthday. It's your birthday.
I don't really like birthday.
But again, it's not no Get Right With You.
But it should.
And Bad and Bougie T-shirt.
But I think
all that shit. No.
But I think this is all great because people actually have to make decisions for themselves about which songs they like versus just going with whatever. I think that this is way better. I think that it makes conversation with, aside from this podcast, but conversation with my friends. Every time that we talk about music, it's did you hear this? Did you hear this? I like this song because of this, and it's tracks that I've heard before, but I never really gave much attention to until I hear it in a different setting, and I'm like, oh, all right, this is nice. I might actually like this song now. So I think it just makes conversation more interesting. I think that it makes hip hop more interesting, and also this is what music is supposed to be. Honestly, it's supposed to be people listening through albums and figuring out what songs they like for themselves and putting that in their playlist and just liking the songs because they like it instead of everyone hopping on Way Too Sexy because it's Drake and it's
that shit's ridiculous. That shit is ridiculous.
Like I don't like this is so much better. This honestly might, especially with this December that we've had with all the music that's been released in December, this might be the best year since 2016.
Okay. Another question. Who are you looking forward to in 2022?
King Kendrick.
And who do you think,
or whatever acronym that he's gonna,
and who do you think,
moniker he's gonna go by that
who
point.
do you think is gonna surprise people in 2022? Like who's the call that you're gonna make that you'll take credit for if it works out?
That's a good question.
I think Kendrick is obviously a person to look for, and again, I've been saying this for a while. I think that Drake, it really, really might be coming like sooner than people think.
The person who's going to surprise people next year.
I already have my answer. I asked that question.
What's your answer?
Tierra Whack.
You think so?
She just dropped her third group trifecta.
Honestly, I think
now it's 9 songs in a row she's dropped where at least 2 of them are really good songs.
Honestly,
it would be, and it seems like she's on some cohesive idea thing, and I'm really, really interested to see what her next full project looks like. I'm very interested. She's been dropping singles and EPs for fucking 3 years now, nigga. Where is the album, nigga? Don't do this to me. I've seen you on the Apple commercial.
It might be too late. It might be too late for her.
What do you mean too late?
It might be too late.
What does that mean?
She had the hype off of Whack World like people really enjoyed Whack World, and then she just disappeared. And then I haven't really, aside from you,
on purpose. I think it was on purpose.
Well, that it didn't work.
What do you mean?
Because aside from you, no one has spoke. Like I've listened to rap. I enjoyed rap. I listened to pop. Didn't really like that much. I haven't listened to R&B yet. But that being said, you're the only person who's brought it up to me.
Yeah, but they're not even EPs. So I don't expect them to get attention especially us knowing where she is. So that's what I'm saying is that it's like she's signed to a label. She's already gotten a bunch of big people and big companies behind her. If she relinks with Apple, she does the right thing, though. I think that she'll get the promotion that she needs to put her in a good position.
You can have the promotion, but that doesn't.
The music is good.
The music is fine, but at the end of the day, it's not. I think that people are. She hasn't given us. How long has she been? When did Whack World come out?
2018, I think.
2018. It is currently 2021, and we still do not have a full length album from Tierra Whack.
Whack World wasn't a full length album.
No, that's what I'm saying. We don't have one. Period. We do not have a full-length album from Tierra Whack.
But that's how artistry used to look. That's what development used to look like. It didn't look like, let me go drop a bunch of albums, like, let me drop OD albums to, like, get a bunch of, like, clout, not actually be good at music.
I mean, not saying she had to do that, but there's back in those times, there was
niggas in music notice her.
Back in those times, there was a difference between an album and a mixtape. In either way, there were still songs that were being released that people could listen to in full. And
songs. It's not like she's not releasing songs. She has songs on FIFA and other video games. She has features on big name artists. She's linking up with the right people. Is that she business wise, she's making decisions.
I would love to
I'm
be
not
wrong.
mad at her.
I would love to be wrong. I really, really would, but I really think it's too late. I think it's too late,
bro. What does too late mean?
It mean the same way YBN Namir had all those hits and then he disappeared for 2 years and then he came back with his album and nobody really cared.
You can't really compare YBN Namir to Tierra Whack, but
I mean, it's the same principle.
It'll be a thing that we agree to disagree, and when you're wrong, I
would like to be wrong. Like I'm not saying this. I'm not saying this to hate, but like. In just realistically,
I'm pretty sure she got her XXL fucking freshman thing not dropping anything.
When did she get it?
2020, 2019, 2020. I think it's 2020. Is it
Like,
last year or the year before?
Even then, like if it's not this year, it's still like you gotta like she's had there's been multiple times where she's had the
Do you have
ability
that
to
opinion
propel
of Chica?
herself.
How long are we supposed to wait for Chica?
I mean, Chica actually is giving us projects that are complete though.
She's giving us 6 songs. 6, 7 songs is not.
It's better it's better than dropping 15.
9 songs. She just dropped 9 of
This
them.
is the first, and this is the first time.
No, stop. She's been dropping singles like day and
in
night.
Terms of projects.
That's not my point.
But
that's
what that's my point. But that's my point. That's what I'm saying.
We're not talking about full projects that can impact people. It don't really do anything.
The difference between dropping six full-length tracks and dropping 15 tracks that cut off at 1 minute is completely different.
Didn't do anything. It doesn't really change anything.
I mean, regardless.
Wait, I need you to check right now, real quick, live. Spotify monthly listeners for
that doesn't
Mulatto versus Tierra Whack.
I feel very confident in saying that Mulatto is higher. Tierra Whack has 2.9 million.
I feel like Mulatto has like 16.
Mulatto has 4.8 million.
Wow, double. And she drops hits. That makes sense.
I mean,
2 million is still big though. I think that Chica has a similar amount though.
I mean, but Chica hasn't had that moment yet of grand.
She got nominated for a Grammy.
Okay.
What does credit look like to you in music terms? And like respect, like, you know,
it looks like being able to bring up an artist's name in a conversation and actually have a conversation about them.
I don't. That's definitely not how I look at it. Because I mean, it depends on who you're talking to.
I mean, yeah, it does, but
that's why I can't go by that.
But depending,
like, I don't know who you're talking about.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, if you can do it in general with people who are knowledgeable about because hip hop is so huge, you could be knowledgeable about emo rap and not knowledgeable about Atlanta rap. So I could bring up Trippie Redd in an emo rap conversation and have a great conversation about that. He's still getting his credit in that subgenre, but at the same time, if we talk about Atlanta rap and I bring up Lil Baby in the same conversation, I'm going to be able to have the conversation. But that doesn't mean that Lil Baby doesn't get his credit. It just means that Lil Baby isn't getting the credit from that subgenre. Now, if I go to Atlanta and I was like, "Yo, Lil Baby's nice," everybody be like, "Yeah, yo, Lil Baby's the greatest. He's the GOAT." Blah 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 blah. I don't think that exists at all for Tierra Whack right now.
I think that it's on the horizon. But, you know, I have my opinion. That's who I think. I think that she's a sleeper. Clearly, you're sleeping, and she's gonna have to wake niggas up. That's all I can really say about that.
I would like to. I mean, I could listen to R&B and feel very differently because I haven't heard it yet. But, yeah. What's the next topic?
The follow-up question.
There's supposed to be a follow-up. We spent so much time on this shit.
The follow-up question was, like, what does a small artist like Tierra Whack shaking the world look like in terms of them? Because I think of like Rodeo didn't even sell like 80 first week, but Rodeo clearly shook like music. And so what do you think Tierra Whack has to do to shake music? Do you think that it's a feature she has to get? Do you think that it's an execution of what she already has that she has to get? Do you think it's just doing more of the same as
she has to follow through
project?
She has to follow through.
What does follow through looking like for a Tierra Whack career look like?
Give me 15 tracks that aren't 1 minute long, that are longer than a minute, that are completely thought about and completely fleshed out, and do whatever your creative ability allows you to do on them.
All right, I'm fine with that.
That, like, and that's the thing. Like, you're comparing her to Chica, and like, I kind of understand why, but at the same time, Chica's has given us 2 years now. She's giving us at least 6 tracks of fleshed out ideas until this set of 3 EPs, 3-song EPs from Tierra Whack. She hasn't done that. She's giving us a single here or there, but in terms of actually,
she did a whole. It was like 7 weeks of singles, but regardless,
yeah, but that doesn't quantify as a project.
I understand.
So like you could drop singles all you want, but at the same time, like, okay, like can you put these together and make them cohesive and sound good together?
Right.
Like, do you understand how to sequence them together? Like, there's so many things that we don't know about Tierra Whack yet, and it's been going on 4 years.
I guess we'll see. I have high hopes. My last question. My last question is, what are your biggest songs of the year?
Biggest songs of the year. I can't answer that question. I have favorites.
All right, what are your favorites? Give me your favorites.
All right, let's go through to all my playlists once again and look through everything that I enjoyed. Right now, I really like Chopper Boy off the Young Boy Birdman tape. I like Achievements off that same tape. Off Juice WRLD from My Window is really good. I like Relocate. I like Doom. I'm still listening to those. I'm still listening to Popping Out by Narda Wick and Big 30. I'm still listening to All Right by Polo G, Piano G, Suicide featuring Lil TJ, and Unapologetic, all those by Polo G. By Your Side, which was the most recent Rod Wave single that was released on DSPs, is really good. Cold World by Young and Ace and Newski 2 Squad is really good. Started as a Dream on the same project is good. What Be Wrong on the A Gangsta's Pain Deluxe by Moneybagg Yo. I like that. Let's see. Obviously Family Ties, obviously Range Brothers, Knife Talk on Certified Lover Boy, Pure Souls. Pure Souls on the Kanye West album, Jenya, Off the Grid.
Damn, nigga, how many songs you gonna give, nigga?
Hey, bro, you asked me for the list, so here's the list. Already Won by Rod Wave featuring Lil Durk. Get Ready by Rod Wave featuring Kodak Black. What's Wrong on that same project? That's the deluxe to Soulfly. Yeah, we're let's get deep into it. Let's get real nerdy with it. Jane, Why Not? Antisocial on the Migos project Culture 3. On Hall of Fame 1.0, I guess is what you'd call it. Toxic, Epidemic, Heart of a Giant.
Make a playlist. Make a playlist. Since you want to name 30
featuring
songs.
Pop Smoke and 5 Foreign. 42 by Pierre Bourne. Lying by Lil Durk and Lil Baby. Still Running by Lil Durk and Lil Baby featuring Meek Mill. Everything Different by Culture Jam featuring Young Boy and Rod Wave. Lucid Dreams remix, Juice WRLD featuring Lil Uzi Vert. I was waiting for that forever, and it finally came. Free Promo, Moneybagg Yo, Polo G, and Lil Durk is on that too. Let's see, I'm almost done. Soulfly by Rod Wave, the song Street Runner by Rod Wave. Hellcats and Trackhawks by Lil Durk, and I think that's the end of it. Yeah, that's the end of it.
So I got
and that's just from one playlist. If I go to another playlist, that's last thing I'm gonna say before overwhelming for real. Trips by Maxo Cream is one of the best, is a top 5 song of the year. That's what I will say.
Okay, so I'm gonna look at my list.
The storytelling on it and how the beat progresses throughout the story, beautifully done. That's probably one of that's the top 5 song of the year, just by execution.
All right, I got Waukesha. Shout out my guy Moneybagg Yo. Remote Control Part 2. For real. Maxo Cream, Life of the Party, yay. Jail, yay. Believe What I Say, yay. Shout out First Order of Business by Keem. Let me get shout out.
I like Lost Souls by
Cochise.
Yeah.
Pocket Rocket. Like, shout out to songs that go famous on TikTok. I ain't mad at you, bro. What other songs I want to say? Shout out Clash, Dave and Stormzy, Rich Motherfucker, Trippie Redd. What's your name? Tyler.
What's your name? Is such a good
Mr.
song.
Rage was a great song. That was
a
one
good
of the best
song.
songs of the year.
Playboy Cardi.
Yeah,
Trippie Redd.
Playboy Cardi and Trippie Redd. Swish, Chris Patrick, 2K song. Shout out Take Me Home, Vince Staples as well. Let Go My Hand by J. Cole. Lemon Pepper Freestyle. Great song. Moon.
You know what else I'm gonna say?
What?
Hunger on the Hillside by J. Cole and Boss. That outro is top 5 too.
Yes, fire. And I'm gonna be real with y'all. I know y'all gonna be mad at me. But y'all gotta be honest. And y'all gotta actually really think about it.
If you say way too sexy, that's the end of this episode.
No, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna.
Because the way you setting it up is sounding like you going for that.
Nah, it's worse. Because people really got to think about this. You know what I'm saying? Because Lab not correlated too. But it's worse than that. It's worse than that.
What's worse than that?
Y'all gotta give credit to No More Parties by Coil right now. Y'all gonna have to give credit to No More Parties by Coil right now.
I honestly forgot that song existed.
No, don't.
I'm really not trying to troll. I'm not trying to do. I'm not lying. I genuinely forgot that song existed. I genuinely forgot that song existed. I'm not even trying to.
Shout out WAP. I mean, it wasn't a good song, but you know, do your thing for me.
You said WAP?
Yeah. I said WAP. Yes.
Who made that song?
What do you mean? Who made that song?
I forgot. Yeah, WAP.
Yeah, I'm not about to tell you who made WAP. You're gonna remember who made WAP.
No, tell me. I forgot.
There's two of the biggest artists in hip hop.
That's fine. Tell me.
Nigga, Cardi B and fucking Meg Thee Stallion.
Oh, because you said WAP. Because the way you said it sounded like WOP, and I was like, "What the fuck is that?"
What am I supposed to say? WAP?
I mean, honestly, that would have made it better.
See?
Yeah, no, that. Look at these see, now I know. If you would have said WAP, then I'm like, oh, WAP. Probably pronouncing that wrong, but I understand what you're saying.
I should say WAP. We're gonna see what they say, but I mean, I think that there were some good songs. I mean, Back in Blood, I gotta give credit to Back in Blood. I can't just like leave it out. I didn't like Rap Star, but you like Rap Star. Call My Phone, gotta give credit to Call My Phone. Lil TJ had a hit. I mean, Pop Smoke, I mean, he was running the year, regardless. And that's pretty much it. I hope that Meg Thee Stallion never does another song with the baby ever again. Ever. DJ Khaled stopped making music. Also, Lil Durk dropped a song with a country singer the other day, Morgan Wallen. Now we did cancel him because he's like, look, he was saying nigger, but I ain't gonna lie, this Lil Durk song was fire.
I'm gonna ignore that.
It was fire.
I'm gonna ignore that.
I'm cool. Turn that up.
Nah, fuck that. I'm cool. Homie was saying the N-word and I'm supposed to listen to his music. No, sir.
Also, nope. What are we saying about Lil Nas X? He was one of the first interviews I wrote for OldMilk. And I think that his album was very hip hop esque, and it was more hip hop esque than I low key thought it was gonna be. Mm-hmm. So what are we saying about that?
I feel like he's a pop artist, if I'm being completely honest with you.
I understand that, but if the current stage of pop music is hip hop music, then what are we saying?
I mean, there's still a difference between pop music and 21 Savage.
I agree, but there's also a difference between 21 Savage and Freddie Gibbs.
Yeah.
And it's like the amount of difference between, say, a Lil Baby or a 21 Savage, like Lil Baby and 21 Savage to Lil Nas X has the same amount of disparity as many would say of like Earl Sweatshirt to a Lil Baby, or Freddie Gibbs to a Lil Baby. In my opinion, I do think that the perception of the disparities is closer than anything.
I mean, I'd argue that those are still two completely different fan bases, though.
I agree. They're all different. All three of them are
so like bases. I don't.
But it's still hip hop music, though.
But
which is my point.
The Lil Nas X fan base aren't hip hop fans.
But that's what I'm saying is that it's like if the current popular music is hip hop music, it's Lil Baby, it's Drake, it's Roddy Ricch, it's Trippie Redd, it's Travis Scott, it's XXXTentacion, it's Juice WRLD, it's all these niggas. Then like that's hip hop. Pop music is hip hop now.
I mean,
he's the highest streaming niggas. He's the highest streaming niggas. Uzi, all them niggas. That's not hip hop. I mean, I've always
kind of like I understand that hip hop.
I understand what you're saying.
Like I understand that hip hop is the dominant genre in the country, but I always kind of push back against the idea that it's pop because it's
If
number
Lil
one.
Nas X ain't talk about men, I feel like niggas was act like he was more of a rapper than he is. If he was talking about fucking bitches all the time, I think like niggas would call him a rapper.
I mean, he doesn't really rap that much though.
That nigga be doing the same melodic flows as all these other niggas.
But it's still kind of different. Like,
Like,
I don't know. I don't really
know.
know.
To the song Scoop
Like,
with,
I don't
with
really
Doja Cat,
know.
it's like Blue Stones at the kickback. She looking at my wrist and watching
Like,
hit back.
I don't
like,
really.
That's a regular hip hop flow.
I mean, just because you have a hip hop flow doesn't necessarily mean that
this nigga's using a
hip-hop.
hip hop flow on a hip hop beat with a hip hop feature, and we not calling it hip hop. I'm confused.
Because here's what I'm trying to say. Like, it just doesn't like. It's just it. The way that Lil Nas X makes music, it's weird to me, because the thing that makes it pop for me is when I'm looking at how much promo he puts around a single, and I'm like the way it's packaged, it kind of feels like it's swinging for the fences, and like it's like if it doesn't go number one, then it's unsuccessful. It's kind of how it feels, and that while music has become a numbers game for the most part, something about that is just so innately not hip hop to me.
I personally think that the biggest part about him being a pop artist is that, or the biggest thing that might the biggest thing that kind of differentiates one from the other is that like sad songs are still upbeat and like poppy and like, you know, jolly.
Mm-hmm.
And that is like what I feel like every pop, no matter what the song is, it's not gonna be sad regardless.
Mm-hmm.
As I feel like every other genre can be sad except for pop music. Pop music can't really be sad. And I feel like that's how I consider Lil Nas music, where it's like all trying to like be like happy go lucky. Mm-hmm. But I still think that it's like we're in a weird space like it's pop music is hip hop music is now in the realm of pop music, where you're going to have artists executing pop music with hip hop foundations. But all hip hop foundations.
But is it a hip hop foundation though?
If it's 808s, hi-hats, and all percussion, yes.
But
yes, nigga.
Do you think Old Town Road counts as a hip hop song?
I think it's a trap country song. And if you can say anything, if you put trap in anything, might as well just say black. Might as well say Negro music. Like it's one of those things where at the end of the day, we know why that project, why that song was produced in the way that it was. And at the end of the day, it's like I feel like people like Juice WRLD made hip hop because he could rap. I feel like people saw him as a hip hop artist because he could rap and he liked to rap, and the way that the beats were constructed. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, he executed songs like he was a punk artist, not a rapper.
Yeah. He
sang on songs. He didn't rap on songs.
He did.
And what did niggas call him? A rapper. They didn't call him no singer.
Because he could rap. Because we know for sure he can rap.
That's like the fact that he had the ability. Literally shifted our perception of the actions he actually.
But that's the thing. But I can argue that. But I can argue that
this nigga rapping, even though he's clearly not rapping, because I know he can rap. It's like, nigga not rapping. I know that Drake can rap. You know that Drake can rap. He ain't rapping on CLB.
But that's what makes you a rapper.
It's
the foundation that you can rap.
We in a position where being a rapper, where niggas that are purely rappers really, really are a very small percentage of the game.
That are purely rappers?
Purely rappers. Earl Sweatshirt, Freddie Gibbs, nigga. My fan base is coming for me to hear me spit 16s and 32s of bars. That's what they're coming for.
The way that I distinguish it is, at the end of the day, if I need you to give me a verse of rap without melody or without auto-tune or whatever, can you do it? And for Juice WRLD, yes. For Lil Uzi, yes. For Lil Baby, yes. For 21 Savage, yes. For Young Thug,
but those artists still make
for
music
Future,
that rely on beats giving energy.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, but in terms of Lil Nas X, I don't feel confident in saying that I believe that he can do that. He hasn't shown it to me. all of his songs are mostly just it has great hooks, it has great beats, but overall, like, are people really listening to the verses? I don't know. I genuinely don't know, and that's the difference. It's like hip hop. Hip hop people are listening to the verses. We're trying to listen to.
think niggas are listening to the verses. Y'all think that niggas are dissecting Lil Baby verses and Gunna verses?
I'm dissecting Lil Baby and Lil Gunna verses.
But do you think that the average hip hop listener is dissecting a Gunna verse?
I think so. I think that they're trying. I think that they're trying to understand. I think that they're trying to understand what they're saying, because if they really like Gunna, they're like they like the flow of Gunna. They're gonna try to understand what he's saying so that they could flow with the beat and sing along to it.
I just feel like you're being very nitpicky about when an artist is a melodic rapper and when they stop being a rapper and just like being too melodic to be considered one.
I mean that's what it has to be. Though.
The threshold is weird. Is Roddy Ricch a rapper?
He just rapped on Live Life Fast. A lot of the songs were him rapping.
I guess.
Like him rapping, like not singing, like rapping, like for real.
I guess. I don't know. I think that Lil Nas X, like, I never considered him a hip hop artist, and I feel like the way that he talks about wanting to be a hip hop artist makes me give more credit to the foundations of his music that are clearly lie in rap.
I mean, there's clearly. I mean, I don't know. I just feel like just the way that
I can't be one of those niggas that's gatekeeping the hip hop's expansion because it's gone too pop. Because that makes me feel like a country nigga. Because once country niggas see one of their artists start making pop music, they're like, "Oh, you're not country anymore."
It's just the way that he goes about in the release of his music that's innately not hip hop to me.
I guess. I think that there are many artists that you've seen put money into their videos.
Not like that.
Yeah, but I think that it takes an artistic nigga to do that. I mean, Tyler the Creator is.
It also takes a lot of money.
Is an example of that person. Kanye West is an example.
It also takes a lot of.
ASAP Rocky is also an example of that person.
And they weren't, when they first came into the game, they weren't those people.
ASAP Rocky was dropping fire videos, and so like Joey Badass. I mean, they were low budget, but that's
what I'm saying. When you look at the Lil Nas X, like the discography of Lil Nas X.
What about the baby?
Is there one?
The baby's first several videos were very, very high profile, very, very high budget.
I mean, he dropped music before that though, when we didn't know he existed.
Okay.
Like Old Town Road is the first song that I'm
the first official song from this era. Like, we don't know if he's deleted songs that have been released. I don't think that Old Town Road is not the first song that whoever Lil Nas X real name is has ever made. Like,
no, it's not. It's not. But what I'm saying is that in terms of when you go and you look at his discography and what's available to you, that's the first song. And looking at all the other songs, you can't point to another song. You can't point to a song in Lil Nas X's discography and say it's low budget or it gives you the vibes of a startup artist or whatever. You can't. He got Old Town Road as one of the biggest, most successful songs of all time. And then the label picked him up, and now he can do whatever he wants. That's not really hip hop. Like, there's more struggle to hip hop than that.
I guess.
Like, it doesn't just happen for you like that. Like, who did it really, aside from maybe Drake, who did it really happen for?
Kanye.
He was producing before that.
True.
And he had to earn his way in terms of being looked at by Jay-Z as someone that deserved Jay-Z verses or whatever. Deserved Jay-Z's attention. Like, there's always that level of.
I feel like Juice WRLD dropped on the scene with a bunch of heat and like hits.
He was popping on SoundCloud before that.
God, what are we doing here?
I'm just splitting hairs.
Okay. Well, I'm glad that we could have this conversation though. I do think that Lil Nas X. I just wanted to have I wanted to pick your brain on how close he could be to the rap game, but I understand. I don't.
like if he gave an album full of just straight up like, yo, this is hip hop. I want you guys to enjoy this album. I want you guys to if he gave us an album that wasn't just 20 hit attempts or whatever, then it's like, okay, cool.
I agree with you. Lots
Like,
of hit attempts.
He hasn't done that. Like every single track is this needs to go number one. This needs to go number one, and that's not hip hop.
Nigga is the rap Katy Perry.
Is she still hot right now?
No.
I feel like you could have picked like Rapidelle or something. Like he does do numbers. Like don't get it wrong. Like he does do numbers when he drops. Although the was Montero the name of his album?
Yeah.
Montero numbers weren't as big.
His album numbers were trash.
Like and that's also the thing too. Like
he didn't drop any. There's no hits on this album. Well, there are, but
all the hits that he
also
dropped.
Shout out Doja Cat. We hated on Doja Cat. I gotta give credit to her. I have to. She's one of the most valuable players of the year. Yeah. Well,
yeah.
Is she a rapper? She be spitting. I think she can give you a whole album of verses.
I mean, even back when I listened to Hot Pink, it was still kind of like more like.
No, I feel like Hot Pink like, was extremely poppy.
Yeah, like.
But that's not my question. Do you know that she can rap?
I don't know if I know. Like genuinely, I don't know if I know.
Now they're switching up on us. Look at it. You see this? See this, RJ? He's switching up on us.
Like,
this is why RJ ain't want to do this is why RJ. This is why.
When did I ever say, yo, Doja Cat can rap for real? That's nothing that came out of my mouth.
She can spit. She can though.
Off of what are you basing this off of?
I gotta go find the songs.
I'm asking. No, I'm genuinely asking because after
I didn't know she kills her verses. I think that like her like then, I don't really know like what about. I'm not gonna say this. I'm not gonna say. Whoa. I was about to bring up the Queen's name and say things that would have got me killed. So Beyonce? I think we should just go to the next topic. No, Beyonce? No. Nope.
Anyway, this has been the Cat Podcast, episode 229. Thank you for watching and listening to us all season. That is Spider Shark. I stop because I want to call you Left Shark, and then I'm like, no, it's not Left Shark.
Spider Shark.
It's Spider Shark.
Shark.
So
Spider Shark.
You're not gonna finish it?
No.
At least fucking finish it. I stop my whole outro for you to sing, and then you're just like you just tease with that, and it's just like, oh, okay, well,
it was just a tease. You made it hot. You made it hot.
Like it's like Tierra Whack.
Don't do.
Anyway. Anyway. This is episode 229. I am Nate Sperlin. That is RJ Leavichin. Thank you for watching and listening to us all season. Check out the OldMilk Spins playlist on Spotify. Link will be in description below. Happy holidays. Happy New Year. We'll be back next year. Stay safe, wear a mask, wash your hands, and we are out. Bye-bye.